What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, or welcome if it's your first time here. You know, it's difficult to believe that in a couple of days all this sunshine and actually decent weather for this time of year is going to be in the past. It's going to be a fond memory, because according to the local weather forecast, we're going to be in the single digits here by the end of the week with a wind chill factor of minus 31. The single digits with the wind chill factor of minus 31. That's an extreme temperature change from what we have right now. Right now it's about 43 degrees, I would say. I've not checked, but I think it's about 43 the way it feels. So you take from 43, calm, some sun shining, and drop that down, suddenly just boom, down to the single digits with the wind blowing, a wind chill factor of minus 31. It is going to be cold, very, very cold. And you know, down here, down south, we're not used to this crap, but it's coming, and I hope people are ready for it. And to make matters worse, here it's supposed to start raining first, so they're going to have rain right before the deep freeze comes to freeze all that rain into ice. So rain's going to come first to get everything good and wet, the roads, the ground, the trees, the power lines. It's going to freeze over suddenly because it's going to drop very suddenly. It's going to turn to ice. Those roads are going to be very hazardous. We're supposed to get actually a half inch of snow to an inch on top of that. So ice and a little bit of snow, very cold temperatures. The roads more than likely are going to be horrible. Now I know some of you guys live farther up north where it's cold most of the year are going to be looking at me and saying, you're a wimp. You can't stand the cold temperatures. And when it comes to cold temperatures, I'm a wimp. I don't like it a bit. I don't like it at all. My bones ache, my head hurts, everything hurts. And even when I got heat on in the house and it should be warm, I'm still freezing because my body's not used to the quick drops like that. But guys, like I said, the cold is bad enough, but when you get this rain first and then it freezes over, that's going to cause those power lines to weight down with the ice. Those trees are going to have ice covering. The wind's going to be blowing, so very, very likely to have limbs fall out of the trees, take the power lines down, or even the whole tree fall across the power lines. It's going to be a mess, in my opinion, with lots of power outages here where I am. It might be different where you are. Hopefully it will be. But guys, really there's no excuse for not being prepared for this, at least the best that you can where you are with what you have. Because we've known for several days here that this was coming. Unfortunately, a lot of people won't do anything at all. They'll just hope for the best and see what happens. That's what most people do, it seems. But you need to figure out what you're going to do if your power goes out. And time is running out for that now because it's just a couple of days before this deep freeze comes. Hopefully your power stays on. But where I am here, most likely it won't. And when it goes out, it'll probably be out for probably 2-3 days here. So it's important to have alternative heating sources, you know, besides electricity. Electricity is the most unreliable heating source you can have in your house. If you have a wood stove, if you have a natural gas heater, like the wall heater, for example, you're much better off with that than you are with gas heat. Or at least have a backup. Have a Mr. Buddy heater with some extra propane or something, anything that will put out some heat to keep warm with. Anything beats nothing. And those Mr. Buddy heaters used to be about 150 bucks. Put back some propane canisters. You can get the 20-pound canisters and get the longer hose to hook to those, and they'll actually do a pretty good job of heating up one room. Some cold weather sleeping bags, some thermal underwear. If you have a wood stove and you have wood out in the wood shed, it's a good idea to go ahead and bring a lot of that in, like on your front or back porch or inside your house, and stack that up to have that ready. To save having to go out, you know, bring that in during the minus 31 wind chill factor with the wind blowing, the ice and the rain. You already have that set up and ready to go. Do what you can now to get ready for this because it's coming. You know, if you have some chickens like this back here, you want to make sure they have some real thick bedding inside the coop, because that will help absorb the moisture, will also help absorb and retain some of the heat. You want to have a good watering system set up that you can run a cord down from your house, for example, like I have here, have it plugged in to keep that water unfrozen, because you want to make sure they always have, you know, clean, fresh, unfrozen drinking water, because if their water freezes up, it's the same thing as having no water at all. They can't drink it. So be sure you have it hooked up where it stays unthawed and drinkable. Also, something like I have in here, I have a 150 watt heat lamp bulb inside the coop here, with this size of coop. And with those chickens in there all together, with their body heat and that light, 150 watt heat lamp in there, it stays pretty warm. If you have dogs, be sure to bring those in. Cats, be sure to bring those in. You know, check on your neighbors, any elderly relatives and things like that, to see if they need anything. And if the power goes out, and you have a wood stove in your house, for example, you know your neighbors don't, you might want to go over and invite them over, because, you know, they're freezing. You haven't prepared, you have a good wood stove. Not gonna cost you any more to bring your neighbors over, you know, to let them spend a couple of nights at your house where you have heat, and hopefully, you know, maybe they'll see the need to prepare and be better prepared next time this happens, because it's going to happen over and over again. We know this. Unfortunately, still, so many people refuse to prepare. Take the deep freeze in Texas a couple of years ago. I'm sure that probably 99.9% of the people who lived through that and went through that and suffered through that aren't any more prepared now than they were then. They haven't done anything. When it was over, they was like, woohoo, it's over with, party time. And hadn't done anything since to get prepared for it happening again, and it will happen again. People just don't prepare. It don't make any sense to me. They don't have the preparedness mindset, apparently. I don't know what it is. But maybe your neighbors, you know, if they, like I said, if they have electric heat and you know the power goes out, their lights are all out, they're over there, they have small children, for example, elderly people, whatever, and they're freezing in their house, go over, knock on the door, say, hey, the power's out, and I want to know if you have any heat or anything here. If you don't, you're welcome to come over to my house. You don't want to stay a couple of days. I have a wood stove over here. I have some gas heat, and you know, everything will be all right. We'll stay here and we'll talk and get to know each other and make it through this together as neighbors. That's the way it should be. And hopefully that's the way you are, that's the way your neighbors are, to help each other. That's the best type of preparedness group, is your neighbors that actually helps each other. A lot of neighbors anymore, they want to just kill each other. They don't talk, they don't socialize, they don't go to church together, they don't do anything usually besides bicker and argue back and forth across the fence, as the saying goes. That's not the situation you want to be in. You know, during a long-term grid down situation, economic collapse, whatever happens, you want you and your neighbors to be on good terms. You want to be on terms, good enough terms, where you'll help each other. That's the way it's supposed to be, and it's the best situation to be in. Unfortunately, a lot of times your neighbors don't prepare, don't want to prepare. They might be drunkards, they might be drug addicts, or whatever. Hopefully it's not the case, but sometimes it is. But if you can trust your neighbors, invite them over if your power goes out in your location. Let them share your heat. It won't cost you anymore. You're going to have to heat your house anyway. If you thought the video was helpful, entertaining, watchable, give it a big thumbs up. Thanks for watching in the Creekmore out here, and I'll see you all in the next video, hopefully.